welcome to another edition of the Sports War. And we are back. We got the full crew in the house. That is what it's all about. The Yankees, out of any team in the league, are the best equipped to handle a blow like this.
I think there is a higher power at play here. He's due law of averages. That dude is the ultimate scrub. It's trash. Yeah. Every person you have in there is fucking trash.
Next game, you're going to see a big performance. You can see it in the end of the game, and I'm just totally stoked and excited for this.
And we are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Report. And once again, it is the Barnes and Tony Show. Anthony, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing great on this beautiful Friday. Here we go, dude. Rangers big win, football frenzy. Like, what is there not to enjoy? Big weekend coming.
Don't have a spare second, Tony. There's so much to go over. I'm so pumped up about it. Let's start, though, now in the world of the National Football League.
6 for 101, 2 touchdowns. Uh-oh. To Evans! Touchdown, Tampa Bay!
How about that throw?
Sam Darnold blasted! Oh, my goodness, did he take a hit? In trouble once! Brings him down! Lost one from Odell Beckham Jr. Got it down! Touchdown!
All right, Tony. So a little bit of a surprise last night as the Carolina Panthers defeat the Atlanta Falcons 25-15. Really had control of this game the whole way. Led 13-3 at half, and just didn't trail and just controlled it the whole way. And they win despite PJ Walker passing for 108 yards. Oh. Didn't turn the ball over, sacked once, and they just ran the ball efficiently. 47 carries for 232 yards and 2 touchdowns, averaging 4.9 yards a carry. So they stay alive here technically, in the division, get a vengeance for that collapsing loss they had a couple weeks ago. And it's just kind of interesting, too, all of that aside. How about this game? So remember we were talking about the total yesterday being 42, ended up going down to like 41 and a half. Lands at 40, 3 missed extra points. Tell me that's not something, you smell a rat about that.
Oh, yeah? You think Vegas made a few calls during the game?
I mean, 3 extra points. I mean, I know it was raining in Carolina.
It was downpouring, dude.
But, I mean, Eddie Pinaro, made 4 field goals, but did miss the 1 extra point. And then Younghoe Koo, who's made the Pro Bowl in the last couple of seasons, missed 2 extra points, but did have a field goal. So a very surprising result for me. And, I know that the weather had something to do with this here. But I really just expected a better effort out of this Falcons team. And I don't think it's a reasonable excuse to say, oh, the weather, so that's why they're a dome team, so it was a tough spot. I mean, I feel like there's just too much talent on this team to lose a game like this to Carolina.
Excuse me. Yeah, I think you're totally right, dude. And I think, we talked about Mariota yesterday. It's I don't know, dude. He just didn't have it last time. I mean, I feel like he was scrambling. He was making some bad decisions, throwing away a lot of balls. Yeah, he was feeling a lot of pressure. And on top of that, the Panthers, I feel like, were just running all over the Falcons. I mean, I don't know about the Panthers' offensive line, but I mean, they were blocking really well. They're making giant holes for Foreman and the rest of the running backs over there in Carolina. I was like really honestly impressed. And Foreman has some really great, like, I feel like just like acceleration. I mean, he's really quick. He was moving his feet really well. He was finding the holes. And like I said, those offensive line, even some of the receivers too, on some of the, the wider running plays, they were really sticking to their blocks, dude. It was good.
Yeah. And Foreman, definitely unheralded, and everyone expected, I think it's his second year, Chuba Hubbard, to take over, with the Christian McCaffrey trade. But Foreman has stepped right in, and you look at his numbers this year. He was a 3rd-round draft pick of the Texans back in 2017. 91 carries, 426 yards, 4.7 yards a carry, 4 scores. And he's ran for over 100 yards, over 108, at least 118 yards in 3 out of his last 4 games. 4 touchdowns his last 3 games. So really just making a name for himself here. And who knows, maybe, he'll have a future in Carolina. He's 26 years old. I could definitely see him being there for a couple seasons. Now moving forward, I mean, obviously we know the weakness of the division, the struggles of Tampa and New Orleans. I know you love this term, but is this the kiss of death for the Falcons, or depends what Tommy does in Germany this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think so. What are the Bucks also 4-5 right
The
now?
Bucks
Right,
are 4-5, so
with
they're a half
tomorrow's
game up.
game, right?
But I think it
Yeah.
does matter, obviously, what they do, against Seattle. But I think that's a tough spot. I think they're going
Yeah.
to lose that game. I mean, we'll talk about it in a
Mhm.
sec. But I don't think you could just pencil the Bucks in for a win there, especially
No.
Germany, the body clock, stuff we've talked about a lot here.
Oh yeah.
And the Falcons, though, too. When they played the Bucks earlier this season, I mean, it was a very close game. They have another game later on this season. I believe actually it might be week 18, if I'm not mistaken,
Wow.
January 8th. So who knows? That game could definitely be for the division.
Look forward to that.
But listen, I mean, I think we talked about this before this game yesterday. Obviously not the sexiest matchup, but I think given the scenario, given the weather, given just kind of the stuff both teams have dealt with this year, wasn't a bad game. Wasn't it a horrendous game? Wasn't it Colts and Broncos from a few weeks back?
I don't know. I feel like first half was like a little bit of a snooze fest, dude.
Scoring picked up in the second.
It did.
But I do think this weekend, Tony, we'll have a lot more exciting, more appealing games. So we know that we're looking forward to that.
Oh yeah, dude. Big Sunday. Germany, dude. Germany.
Yeah. I mean, and I'm curious if you know this. So this goes, Boomer said this morning on the Fan. Going back to, I think it's 1989. Take a guess how many games, including preseason.
Oh no.
They've been to Tokyo, they've been to Australia in the past. How many games have been played internationally in the National Football League, regular and preseason?
Is it a lot? Like, is it?
That's the guess you have to take, Tony.
22.
115. Yeah.
Really?
Because you think
That's
about
crazy.
it. They started the last few years, London going to 4 games, then they're adding Germany, then they're adding Mexico. So, you think about how that adds up, and then the fact that they did a lot of games in Japan and stuff back in the day, the Tokyo Dome, all of that. So
That's pretty cool.
yeah. But I mean, I guess the thing is too, because it is stupid, I think, when teams have to give up a home game, but now with the extra game, you don't have to give up a home game. You could go 8-8 and then have the neutral site. And I'm sure eventually we'll get to that where every team will be involved in an international game.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure they'll have like 20 games in a season.
And then they're talking something about a European division. They can't do that.
Like to have European nations.
Like in the NFL, but like 4 or 6 teams in their own division, and then maybe they'd match up for playoffs. That is, as you would say, ridiculous.
Dude, that is ridiculous. Oh my God, that'd be so stupid.
But it's been an obsession, Roger Goodell.
Why?
He wants a
Money?
Super Bowl. Yeah, of course it's money, but a Super Bowl in London, and
get the hell out of here, dude.
It is unbelievable. It really is. It really is. And one thing I would say is if they want to do a separate league, sure, but you can't mix I know I sound like dog here, but with the travel, I mean, you can't do it. You absolutely can't do it.
You can't. I mean, you look at obviously, a lot of soccer and rugby leagues out there, they're able to do that, but that's because Europe is every country you could just walk through.
Right.
Like you can drive through every country, we can't do that.
Yeah.
The travel time is ridiculous. How are you going to organize all that shit? Not to mention on a weekend, week out basis.
Yeah. Crazy.
Get out of town.
Crazy. But you know what time it is, Tony. Cue up the music.
Oh, buddy boy.
I hope you have it ready.
Oh, yeah, I do, dude. Don't worry.
Sounded a little tight there.
No, yeah, dude. Don't you knock me.
The football frenzy.
Easy on the vocal cords here, okay? All right, we were just talking about it. Game 1 on Sunday here. What is it, Brian? Week 10. Oh my gosh. So in Germany, 9:30 EM Eastern time, you have the Seattle Seahawks Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Obviously, both teams battling for division leads here. What do you think, dude? I know what you think already, honestly.
Evans banged up. Godwin doesn't look himself. Offensive line in shambles. Needed a miracle drive in 40 seconds with no timeouts last week to defeat the Rams, who can't move the ball either. So there's no way that Tommy and the fellas are going to go all the way to Munich and defeat the Seattle Seahawks. One of the most solid teams in the NFL, offensive, defensively.
Crazy.
Head coach. They were talking about on FAN this morning. Todd Bowles walking off the plane yesterday looked a little tight.
Really?
The cold weather in Germany. So I think the Seahawks will stifle the Buccaneers in this one. Low scoring game, but give me Seattle here. 21-10. Geno Smith, 3 touchdown passes, all to DK Metcalf.
All right, let's go back to the homeland here in good old Buffalo, New York. We have the Bills hosting the Vikings. 1 o'clock, NFL, FOX. Brian.
All I would say, for people who want to handicap this game, the line started out at 7 before the Allen news came out. Now it's down to 3.5 in favor of Buffalo. If you want to take this game, take it now, because Josh Allen, as we like to say, is not playing this game. This is a cat and mouse game. That's why the spread is down. It's gonna eventually be the Vikings favored, because Case Keenum can't be favored in this game. So I know a big spot, the Vikings, Cousins, you wouldn't normally take him, but I'm assuming Josh Allen is not playing this game. So I'm going to say the Vikings here, 28-14 over the Buffalo Bills. Case Keenum, 3 interceptions against his old team.
All right, moving along here. Still 1 o'clock, Chicago hosting Detroit.
Isn't it funny? They were talking about this on the Fan as well this morning, how narratives change so quickly. Justin Fields was the joke of the NFL a couple years ago. Not years ago, but weeks ago. All of a sudden, a couple good games. He's running a lot. They've been creative with their play calling. Now he's considered the best quarterback in his draft class, from a bust. So that's just interesting. But I feel like I need to ride the wave of momentum here. And I know Chicago covering a number, you don't feel too comfortable about that. The line's only 3. If you want to, be really careful, you could buy it down to 2.5. But I just think Fields looks great. The Bears are going to continue to run the ball, high percentage throws. And I know the Lions stifled the Packers last week, but the Packers look like the worst offense in the NFL. The Bears have been humming. Let's continue to ride this wave of momentum here. The Bears hang 35 on the Lions, winning 35-21.
Love it. Next game in the 1 o'clock slot, we have the Broncos riding into Tennessee against the Titans here. How much confidence do you have in Russ?
I'm going to surprise you here. Much maligned quarterback Russell Wilson. The videos are ridiculous. All of that. But the Broncos, well rested, coming off the bye. Ryan Tannehill expected to return from the ankle injury that kept him out the last 2 weeks. So I'm sure, they'll try to kind of ease him into action, go heavy with Derrick Henry. But I think this Broncos defense has something to say about it. This total set at 37.5, very low. And how about this, Tony? It's going to go under that. Broncos 13-10, McManus from 56 for the win.
Wow. We'll go from one low total to one high total here. Still 1 o'clock. Jacksonville Jaguars are going to be in Kansas City against the Chiefs. ETN, stellar year so far. The Chiefs have what it takes here.
Jags win over the Raiders last week, but this isn't the Raiders, Tony. This is the Kansas City Chiefs, the cream of the crop in the NFL, especially in the AFC. This game is not going to be close. I would, with ease, lay the 9.5 for Kansas City.
Wow.
With ease, take the total. The Chiefs might cover the total themselves, but I'll have them coming in a little short of that. Very close, though. The Chiefs, 49-24 over the Jacksonville Jaguars. Patrick Mahomes, 5 touchdown passes, 480 yards. Travis Kelce, 140 yards receiving, 3 touchdowns.
Wow, dude. Great game for Kelce here. Moving over to Miami, 1 o'clock. Cleveland is going to be in the beautiful city of Miami playing the Dolphins. Nick Chubb, arguably the best running back, in the league right now. But does Tua have a few things to say about that?
It's tough because of the way the Browns play. I want to think that they have a chance to knock off Miami here by running the ball, playing solid defense. But it really seems like when Tua starts and finishes a game, they are undefeated, that no one can stop this offense at full strength. Tyreek Hill is doing unbelievable things. Then you have Jalen Waddle, and then you have Mike Gesicki, who I think is one of the more underrated tight ends in the league. So this is the way I see this going. 10-10 game at half. Browns running the ball up and down the field. Second half, Tua just starts slinging it everywhere. And the Dolphins are going to defeat the Cleveland Browns 42-28.
Electric so far. Still in the 1 o'clock time slot, we have the Giants at home, MetLife Stadium, East Rutherford, New Jersey, are playing the Houston Texans, who have
Get ready
one win.
To say, Tony, that is ridiculous.
Overlooked?
The Houston Texans
my God.
will defeat the New York Giants. The sky will be falling. It just overlooked. It's overhype. And listen, the Giants, Brian Dable, they deserve all the credit in the world. But unfortunately, in this league, it is the NFL. It's every given Sunday, or any given Sunday. My mistake there. But you can't overlook the Houston Texans. And I know Davis Mills has a tendency to throw interceptions, but I just have a feeling, Lovie Smith can dial something up, stack the box, force the Giants to throw the ball, shut down Saquon Barkley. And then another low-scoring game here, 14-10, the Houston Texans with the upset of the week.
That's ridiculous. Your final 1 o'clock game here. The New Orleans Saints are going to be in Pittsburgh against the Steelers. I think I know where you're going here, but what do you got?
You don't know. Say where I'm going.
Steelers.
I guess you do know. And really the big reason why, let's be real too. Both teams have looked terrible. I know you could technically say one more win for the Saints. They haven't had their bye yet, but they've looked a little better. But complete nonsense. It doesn't matter if it's Dalton, if it's Jameis. The Saints aren't right. Unless Taysom Hill is just going to run the ball every play, I don't see them winning this game. And the biggest thing here, TJ Watt returns for the first time since week 1. The Steelers at home here. I don't see the Saints having a good game, and yet another low-scoring game, Tony. We have the Pittsburgh Steelers 17-10 over the New Orleans Saints.
All right, moving to the 4 o'clock time slot here. One of 3 games, by the way, at 4 o'clock. I think they normally go 2, right?
It varies every week. Bye weeks, London games, Thursday night, all of that.
Anyway, we have the Indianapolis Colts in playing the Raiders, dude. How's Mr. Saturday going to do this Sunday?
Did you see his press conference?
Did not. Happy?
Just said, oh, yeah. Yeah, he just said, he's been around football for all the doubters. He's going to give it his all. He knows football. He knows what he's doing.
It is ridiculous how many people are kind of in an uproar about him being the coach.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah. And then Orlovsky wants to join the staff. I don't think it's happening.
What?
But there was talk of that. I know you and Michael would love that.
Give it a rest, bud.
But this line is ridiculous, Tony, as you would say. 4.5 for the Raiders. They look terrible. Hunter Renfrow and Darren Waller on injured reserve. Will Josh McDaniels get canned after this game? It's possible. But embarrassed at home, Jeff Saturday and the Colts, they're going to run for 200 yards on the ground and defeat the Las Vegas Raiders here 28-7. Possibly McDaniels walking papers after the game.
Absolutely love it. 4:25 time slot now over on FOX. The Cowboys in Green Bay with the Cheeseheads. What do you got for the Cowboys, dude?
It's ridiculous. It doesn't make sense.
Oh, no.
The Packers are a mess. They don't have any receivers. Rodgers is disgruntled. The Cowboys have the best defense in the league. Odell's coming to town. But like I said, sometimes in the NFL, unexplainable things happen. And for whatever reason, something will be installed in Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers, and they will find a way to win this game in the highest scoring game of the week. To the surprise of many, the Green Bay Packers defeat the Dallas Cowboys 49-35. Aaron Rodgers, 5 touchdowns, including 3 to Sammy Watkins.
All right. Wow, that was the whole video, the whole song.
That doesn't usually happen.
Gotta replay. I know, never happens, dude. All right, next game, final 4:25 time slot here. Battle of probably the most disappointing teams so far, I think, in the league. You have the Cardinals at 3-6, in LA against the Rams, who are 3-5. What do you think, Brian?
Just wanted to check too. I mean, my whole thought process here is the health of Matthew Stafford. Let's see. He was a non-participant at Thursday's practice. So that put me in a bind here. So, I don't want to do if this, if that. So I'm going to just assume that Stafford concussion, the sensitivity to all of that he's not going to play this week. So with that being said, the free fall continues for the Los Angeles Rams. Cardinals take advantage.
The burp on the
Burp
microphone.
King.
Oh, no.
The Cardinals take advantage of that, and the Rams, I mean, they couldn't score last week, and they had Matthew Stafford. With John Wolford at quarterback, Tony, there is no way that the Rams can win this game. So give me the Arizona Cardinals here. Kingsbury, Murray, get all the haters off their back, at least for 1 week anyway, defeating the Rams here 32-10.
All right, the last game of the day here, 8:20 p.m. primetime, NBC. You know who's commentating. We're in Santa Clara, California at Levi Stadium as the 49ers are hosting the Chargers. Jimmy G-Man?
Jimmy G-Man. And I don't even have the numbers in front of me. I'm just taking a wild guess. But if we look at the Chargers in prime time over the last 3 or 4 years, got to be a despicable record. I would almost guarantee it. And I know the spread is heavy. So that's the one thing, if you want to take Chargers +7, I'll allow it. I don't think the Niners cover that 7, but I just think better football team. The element that Christian McCaffrey adds to this offense is unbelievable. I love the skill position players for the Niners, Debo, Ayuk, Kittle. So, just getting McCaffrey open in space, Jimmy G doing what he does best, those short throws, those accurate throws. So give me the 49ers here. I'm going to say 31-28 over the Los Angeles Chargers.
Phenomenal job, Brian.
And yet another football frenzy, Tony.
Dude, it's honestly ridiculous.
The
Week
10th.
10.
The 10th frenzy of the season. I can't believe it. But you know what we have to do here? Give me 3 winners for this week. And just before you do that, just want to update you, and we'll talk hockey, obviously, in a minute. But we both hit with 3 games last night. I hit with the Coyotes, the Avalanche, the Golden Knights. You hit with the Rangers, the Devils, and the Bruins. I have 8 points. You have 6 points. Going to the new year, what do you got for me for football, though?
All right. So very simple, dude. Okay. Obviously, trying to go heads up with you as
Bucks.
much as possible here. No. Cowboys.
Oh, okay.
Huh?
I like it. I think it's smart. It's a smart play.
Thank you. Second one, Giants.
You love taking the Giants.
I mean, come on, it's Texans. I think that's pretty crazy. It's just ridiculous, honestly. I mean, the Bucks against the Hawks. I really don't think the Bucks are going to win that game.
That was ridiculous.
Give me the Raiders. Why not, dude?
Wow.
Shot in the dark, dude.
Wow, really? In the what do they call it? The black hole? Yeah, the Raiders. They always call it
the black hole. I feel bad going against Saturday, but you know what? Maybe the people know something,
Yeah, you never know. So I'm going to go Chiefs. I'm going to go 49ers. And I just want to take one more look for my last year. Just being careful. Want to go 3-0 here. Up and down the list here. I'm gonna go with the Dolphins.
Oh,
I just think
good pick. Tua.
Red hot.
Yeah.
All right. So Chiefs, 49ers, Dolphins for me, Cowboys, Giants, Raiders for you. Before we switch gears, though, your favorite game of the week is.
Oh, you gotta go to Munich, baby. Let's go.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. I like watching the Seahawks.
Come on.
But Brady, with a lack of running game, a lack of offensive line, is a bore to me.
Yeah, but the Lederhosen, dude, I'm telling you.
What?
Lederhosen?
The hell is that?
You know what a Lederhosen is?
No.
Come on, dude. It's like the German outfit.
But what outfit for what? No, it really explains because I've never heard that before. I'm not even trying to be funny. Like
You ever like been to like an Oktoberfest and you see people in like with the funky hat,
like ruffles and stuff, like ruffled sleeves. Like I'm kind of picturing it now when you say Oktoberfest.
I don't know how to fucking later hose. Maybe that's it. Yeah, you've seen it. You've seen it, dude.
Okay, yeah,
That's
complete
later
chief.
hose,
Yeah,
dude.
complete chief.
It's like a German outfit, dude. It's like
Yeah,
you
here's
know?
the defense, but I mean, let's be real, Tony.
Not really
Like, I mean,
defense,
that's
but-
what they do. That's what they're comfortable with. But that's chief,
What's wrong with that?
as you would say. That is ridiculous.
You like
But I
that?
was gonna
How about
say,
that, dude. Is
I was gonna say though, the game I'm looking forward to the most is definitely the Sunday night football game between the Chargers and the 49ers.
yeah.
The Niners are they were boring before, but now that they have McCaffrey, I feel like they're
Very
so
exciting.
exciting to watch. The
Oh,
offense
yeah.
is explosive. They have good defense, good coaching. So that'll be something to watch for. But can't wait to watch these football games on Sunday, and recap them all with you on Monday. But for now, Tony, let's go to the world of the National Hockey League.
Here's Matthews. Scores! Hat-trick goal!
My goodness, this is a great shot.
Big hit on the far side by McCarr. He flattens Jordan's skull. Oh, my goodness.
That's the shot right back. Terrified and robbed by Shesterkin. That's brilliance from Igor Shesterkin.
It's a breakaway to win it in overtime. McDavid scores! The winner in overtime!
Action all over the place last night.
Oh yeah,
in the
baby.
National Hockey League. Everybody saw the promo yesterday. So many places to go. We have to start with our New York Rangers, Tony. Monkey off the back. 8-2 victory over the Detroit Red Wings. And it started out as one of those games. Here we go again. 2-2 after 2. You just envisioned it in your head. The Red Wings slipping one past Shesterkin, 3-2 victory.
Right.
The same questions to be answered after the game, but it was not the case. So just to kind of give a synopsis, and then we'll bring you in here, Tony.
Yeah.
So Zibanejad got them on the board early, not even 5 minutes into the game with his 8th goal of the season. Then Veleno answered for the Red Wings, so that made it 1-1 after 1. Lucas Raymond, early on in the second period, also with a goal, his 6th of the year, so 2-1 Red Wings. And then Chris Kreider, looking like last year's Chris Kreider, power play goal.
Love it.
His 6th of the year, so that tied it at 2. On to the third period, and Adam Fox, 6 minutes into the third period, leads off the scoring with his 4th goal this season, and the Rangers don't look back as they get another one, not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5 extra goals after that between Gaudreau, Zibanejad, Gauthier, who I've never heard of, Hajek, who I've never heard of, Vesey, who I've never heard of, Tony, and it's 8-2 Rangers. Like I said, monkey off the back. Shesterkin only had to defend 20 shots, but he stopped 18 of them. All in all, a great victory for the New York Rangers.
Dude, absolutely just phenomenal. You said it, monkey off their back. People like us, people all over the hockey world doubting the Rangers here. I talked about it yesterday how third period folds. It was one of their bigger issues, in recent games. And what did they do last night? They scored 6 goals in the third period, saying we're not backing down, we're not tired, we're here for the rest of the year. And not to mention, you mentioned all those names, spreading the wealth. Everybody was getting good looks, and a few of those names. Gaudreau's our young guy. It's Gauthier actually.
Gauthier,
yes, he was on the team last year.
Didn't play much, no.
Did not play much. Young buck. And then Jimmy Vesey actually was a 1st round pick, maybe.
Okay,
like 4 years ago, from Harvard. Good hockey player. Didn't do too well with the Rangers his first year in. The rebuild came. He went to the Devils, I believe. This offseason came back. Obviously a matured player now. We're in, past our rebuild. Obviously a great piece to have as you got that shorthanded empty netter, I believe. But nonetheless here, you look at the stats of the game. And honestly, I love it. I love the outcome. I love the stats because other than shots, which we had 33 to Detroit's 20, it wasn't honestly crazy. Like our hits were 25 to 31 in favor of Detroit. Faves offs were about 50-50. Power play 1 for 3. I'll take it. And keeping Detroit 0 for 2 in the power play, I'll take that as well. That we had that one shorthanded goal. 11 block shots to Detroit's 15. We had 3 steals, 7 giveaways here. So stats for the most part the same. Obviously where you want it to be better, special teams in the power play like that. We had the power play goal, great, but the difference between the shots on net, right? The big reason it's not because we were winning faceoffs because we were even with Detroit. It's just because we had like very strong, solid puck control. I think it was or maybe it was the Gauthier goal. It was the Hodgek goal with Hedel and Lafreniere on the line. And this was just obviously one point in the game where everything was just so well oiled, but there was the Rangers all day. But this is just a great example. It was such a long shift in our offensive zone. They were moving the puck beautifully. None of our forwards were stagnant. You see Hodgek got the goal, assist by Hedel and Lafreniere. The 3 forwards were just working the puck, dude. It was like a symphony, honestly, dude. I don't know if you saw this, but they just had complete puck control. They were skating. I think it actually started with Kakko getting to the offensive zone, making a little shimmy, keeping the puck, getting it out to an open man, and then it was just working it from there, and it ended up in a goal. Hodgek had, I think at the blue line, slapper, just got past Husso, by the way, who did start.
Yeah.
So what the hell?
Daily
face off kind of really letting us down here. But nonetheless, I mean, it was just absolute just beauty. And it was just that all night. Again, like that stat sheet of the team stats, nothing jumps out at you. Like 30 shots on goal isn't crazy. Keeping Detroit to 20 is good because it shows you had great puck possession, but it's just we did the little things right. We kept the puck. We had great movement. Everybody was where they were supposed to be. Nobody was behind. Nobody was dragging on the ice. They were skating really well, and they wanted it. That's what it came down to. We talked about it yesterday. The Rangers have the talent. They just need to want it, and they did. I mean, this is an absolute 180 from the last game that we had at home against Detroit, where we lost 3-2 in overtime. We gave up 2 goals. Stupid. This was just we had foot on the pedal the whole time, and it was this is what the whole season should be like for the Rangers here. This is great.
Yeah. And, I've said it many times, whether we're talking about football, whether we're talking about baseball, hockey, let this be the turning point. I don't think this is necessarily an easy schedule coming up. A lot of road games. You got the 4-game West Coast trip. So you got to figure out how you're going to navigate this. And I have to say, though, very impressed with last night. And one thing I would like to see, and maybe the defense will be so good where there's just not going to be a lot of shots. But the one thing that would just give me a little more confidence is I want to see them win a game where Shesterkin has to defend 35 shots, and you know what I mean, and then do it. You know what I mean? Then I'll feel really, really good. But this is definitely a very much so a really big step in the right direction. Kind of curious as to what you think about how they're going to I know we talked about this a couple days ago, but how they're going to navigate this back-to-back tomorrow and Sunday, Nashville, and then home to Arizona. And then also Arizona tomorrow is going to play the Devils before they play the Rangers on Sunday. So, obviously off today as well. I don't know if they try to kind of base it off what Arizona does. If they're going to go with Vejmelka tomorrow, then they'll assume they're not going to start him on Sunday. So then they try to match up with a backup tender. I mean, what do you think they do here?
What do the Rangers do?
Yeah, in terms of
I
who's
think
starting
it's going to be today's Friday, so
Yeah.
tomorrow is going to be Shesterkin starting,
and then if maybe Halak versus Vejmelka, or you think Arizona with the back-to-back? I just feel like Arizona just doesn't care right now, and they'll just put Vejmelka out there.
No, yeah, I could see that. But honestly, Arizona in the back-to-back, odds are I feel like they won't do that. And
14-game road trip, longest in national
exactly. I also just think if the Rangers play anywhere near like this level of play against the Coyotes, then they're going to fold. I mean, yeah, the Coyotes, it's great. Vejmelka is doing really well in between the pipes for them. They have a couple good, young pieces, but I mean, if they're getting swarmed by basically every New York Ranger, I mean, there's gonna be no shot that they win, regardless of who's, their goaltender,
Are you concerned though about the Nashville look-ahead spot? On the road, and then you got to travel after, tired legs.
Why are
for
we
Arizona.
looking ahead? No, we're not looking ahead. If anything, they're like, oh, Arizona, whatever. We don't care right now. Nashville right now.
No, Nashville right now. I guess the one thing that I'm just concerned about is I know that between tomorrow and Sunday, that Halak, as Buffer checks in, says, "Hey fellas, that Halak is going to start one of these games," and he's going
to get the win. He's going to get a nice win, okay, against Arizona. It's going to be great, dude.
Do we bring up Domingue?
No, we don't.
Can you get me some AHL stats?
We let Halak. Maybe, honestly, dude.
But I just, because that's just an important part, and you know how I feel about backup tenders. But if we're gonna play backup tenders, it has to be a scenario where we can win games when we don't have Shesterkin starting. It looks like he's 2-1-2.
2-1-2, no shutouts. 271 goals against, not bad. 901 save percentage.
Drafted by the Coyotes in 2010.
Crazy, dude.
From Saint Seth, Quebec.
Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, not doing that great, dude.
But not doing that bad either. And 2.71 goals against is good, no?
That's solid.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're in the minors here, bud.
Yeah. 10-9 last year too. But also depends about, I don't know how good the Wolfpack are this year. So that's just like kind of one thing that I have in mind, but I really would like to, let's go into next week and with a 3-game winning streak. And then, that'll be a 3-game winning streak heading to Seattle, San Jose, LA, and Anaheim. I mean, if you win 3 in a row, at the very least, you need to go 2-2. You'd love to go 3-1, but on a road trip, a split usually.
No, we're sweeping Cali.
That would be a 7-game winning streak. Leaving Cali would be insanity, Tony.
Possibly.
Let's do it.
But yeah, we're sweeping Cali. It's going to happen. I'm telling you.
1 game at a time and a back-to-back with Los Angeles and Anaheim. So yet another Halak game probably next week as well.
I'll take Halak against Anaheim.
Terry, veteran, knows how to take advantage of a weak tender.
Seagrass, Sonny Milano.
All right, so I'm dying to talk about this.
What are you more excited for? The Rangers win or Vejmelka? honestly, what are you more pumped about from last night?
The Rangers.
No, I don't know, man.
Because like we were talking about before the show, I just like the whole thing. Like we're discovering Vejmelka before the rest of the world, and I like just being ahead of the curve. And I really think we're looking at something special here. And obviously that's a good segue to the Arizona Coyotes, an impressive 2-0 victory,
Very impressive.
Shutout victory at the hands of the New York Islanders at RBS Arena. Vejmelka, perfect 24 of 24. They get goals from Boyd and McBain. McBain was an empty netter with 30 seconds left, but Boyd was the big goal on a power play. And it's just really impressive what Arizona has done after looking horrible to start the season. And, I know we kind of, beat a dead horse here, but I think they go as Vejmelka goes because if he's on his game, he's allowing, 1 goal at most. And then it's just a matter of them clawing together, a goal or 2 to win a game. And you look at his last 3 starts here, okay? 24 out of 24 saves, 32 out of 33 saves, 34 out of 36 saves, all victories. Did have 1 bad game in Dallas there where he let up, 4 goals, 22 of 26. But then the game before that against Florida, 41 of 42.
Saves. Yeah.
I mean, Tony, that is impressive stuff. Nobody talks about it, and I'm sure it's part of the, the nature of, Arizona not getting any media coverage, the uncertainty of the future of the team. But I think they do feel pretty good about that 3-year extension that they signed him to, back in March.
Yeah, no, I would too. And I think, as the season progresses, his goals against right now is 3.06. Obviously, it's just a couple of games where he's giving up like 4 goals or whatever.
Is that the defense like you always talk about?
Of course, no. I mean, it certainly is. Although the defense did play pretty well last night, but the Islanders, I think it was an overlooked spot for them because they absolutely just dropped the ball. I think they gave the puck away like 17 times, 20 shots on net. They played some really sloppy hockey after playing some really good hockey to start the season off. So I think, bad job by them. Arizona took advantage of that. So good job for them. I'm sure they're also Arizona were pretty pumped to be at UBS and not, ASU. So yeah. And, I was saying, I think Vejmelka, as the season progresses, that goals against is going to be lowering.
2.7, 2.8.
Yeah, it is.
Save percentage in 9-10.
Save percent, yeah, definitely up there. As well as probably pitching some more shutouts as well. It's his first of the year, so I think first of many.
And how about this? So okay, so this was actually, I didn't realize this was the third game of second longest road trip in NHL history, 14 games, but they're 3-0 to start this road trip. So this is going to be tough. I mean, you look at the upcoming schedule. So New Jersey tomorrow, the Rangers on Sunday, the Knights on Thursday, then the following Monday in Nashville, the following Wednesday in Carolina, then Detroit, then Minnesota, then the Kings, then Vancouver, then Calgary, then Edmonton, before returning home December 9th against the Bruins. So I think, unfortunately, it's so early, but a stretch like this, Tony, really, it might determine whether, the Coyotes will have a chance to make the postseason. Big stretch.
I know, a huge stretch, but I mean, I don't know. I feel like if they
got to go 500,
games,
7-7,
yeah,
and then you're,
just kind of 7-7. You go back at home. You feel pretty good about it. Arizona though making the playoffs,
8th seed,
maybe.
Do you think Bettman doesn't want home games at a 4,000 seat
Oh
arena?
my God, dude! There's no way they would allow.
But why did he allow it in the first place, though? That's the thing.
No, dude. I have no.
They were out of options.
They must have been. I think they're really waiting on this new arena in Tempe.
Yeah. And last Coyotes question before we just move on to a couple games and then do some picks. If you had to guess, how many victories for the Coyotes this year?
Oh man, I'm trying to think. Last year, dude, I don't think did they even have like 40 wins last year?
No. I want to say high 20s, low 30s.
37.
I'm gonna say 45. That's just ridiculous.
That is kind of ridiculous, dude. I mean, I don't know, dude.
Good story though, nonetheless.
A good story, I'm sure. I mean, you look at their division right now, right? I mean, they're probably not going to win their division. I know it's super early in the season to be looking at division standings right now, but they're excuse me, in 4th here in the Central. At 6-6 here with 13 points. Colorado's above them with 15, Dallas 17, Winnipeg with 17, tied for first in the Central Division. And then, I mean, you look at the, I can't, there's no shot in the rest of the conference as well.
Wild card.
I don't know, man.
Last spot, Tony. Vejmelka on a bender.
Right now they're in the last spot of the wild card behind Edmonton.
Yeah, but you look at teams, you never know who's going to just slip up and kind of fall from grace.
I mean, I could see like Dallas dropping. I could see Winnipeg dropping.
Dallas, Winnipeg. Come on, Tony. They're better than those.
I could see Seattle dropping as well.
Seattle's look good though. Seattle's another team that it's interesting. Just after being much maligned.
I mean, again, it's so early in the season. I could see also LA dropping. The Kings, Jonathan Quick. I don't think so. So I don't know. It's gonna be tough. But then you look at the teams behind Arizona. You have Minnesota. You have Calgary. You have even Nashville too. And you never know what Chicago does at the trade deadline here. They could have a huge second half of the season. Who knows?
Chicago?
Yeah.
A huge second half?
Yeah.
No, but meaning they're gonna be. Why do you think they're gonna be good?
Well, I mean, if they trade away Kane and Taves for some, Like,
Oh, you mean younger players?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I wasn't expecting that out of you.
I'm just saying it's possible. I mean, they're not, again, early in the season. You never
Yeah.
know, dude. They're right there in the wild card for now. So,
And the next game we're going to talk about here, the Golden Knights, the Jack Eichel, homecoming game here in Buffalo, 7-4 over the Sabres, and that margin of 3. That's how many goals Jack Eichel scored last night. The hat trick. The last one being on an empty netter with 8 seconds remaining. And I'm just kind of curious, we always get excited about attendance here. So
yeah.
Buffalo, obviously take Arizona out of it. I mean, you have a 4,000 or 5,000 seat arena. You really can't look at those numbers, but the lowest average attendance in the league at 66% generally capacity. Just kind of curious what you think percent capacity last night. Wasn't a sellout. I'll give you that, but there was an uptick.
Lowest percentage was what you said?
Their average percentage is 66,
which is
and they averaged 12,000. That's the lowest in the league average attendance other than Arizona.
80%.
83%, 15,757. So I feel like for a team that's last in attendance, you obviously saw an uptick. People wanting to see Eichel last night.
That's pretty crazy that they're so poor attendance.
Yeah. I think they got to just prove it. And then the rest will take care of themselves. I believe this was their 4th straight loss, though, Buffalo, as they fall to 7-7. And Vegas, 13-2. Best record in the league. Really looking like, they could be a force to reckon with. We talked about Eichel. He's, Stevenson is very good. They have Carlson. And then their goalie, Logan Thompson, is a pretty good tender. He was 31-35 last night. I mean, is it conceivable to say that we could be looking at Vegas and Colorado Western Conference Final?
Very conceivable.
What do you what do you know about Logan Thompson? 25 years old,
lot, dude,
from Alberta, Canada,
of course
Calgary.
he is, dude.
8-2 this year, 9.25 save percentage. I guess they're considering this his rookie year. Only started 17 games last year, though. Did go 10-5.
Wow.
So could be a future star in net. I guess he just signed with them. I'm not seeing any type of draft status or anything.
Yeah, I don't see anything either. It kind of looks like the old goaltender for the Nationals.
Nationals?
Not the Nationals, the Capitals.
The Capitals.
Brennan Holtby.
Interesting.
Very interesting. Yeah, I don't know. What the hell was he drafted? The hell?
I think it was just a right situation.
AHL rookie team 2021. So he did go through the I don't know.
So definitely
6'4", 205, 25 years old. I mean,
built.
someone you can definitely, big guy in between the pipes. Someone you can kind of, build a nice team around here.
You know what's interesting? I completely messed this up. Does Sebastian Aho have a brother?
Yes. I don't know if it's his brother, though. It's definitely related.
Yes. I thought he signed with somebody else, and I was just looking at the Hurricanes box score, and he's still on the Hurricanes. Remember, I was like, oh, they lost Aho.
When did you say that?
Like within the last week.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
And that's a good segue. Chokery, was actually at the Hurricanes game last night.
Speaking of the devil,
I mean, unbelievable. He loves the NHL
Great
segments.
timing.
And Tony, we've talked about this for a long time, and from your experience at the network and their ties to NHL, tough to get NHL coverage.
Dude, it really is. It's so annoying.
And you've seen me go from somebody who could not stand the NHL, wouldn't give it a shot. And here we are, in-depth coverage on the NHL. And he says we won't lose Aho. And one more time for me, Tony.
Svechnikov,
who did have, and Chokery told me this, the hat trick, 100th career goal last night. So that must have been a great game to go to, for sure. But the Hurricanes, they go with the third string tender. We're always talking about second string tenders, and they go with 23-year-old Pyotr Kochkov. Probably not the right pronunciation.
We'll get it, dude.
But nevertheless, was that his Okay, so that was his 4th career game last night, but I think that's impressive. You know, a 7-2 victory. You go with your 3rd string tender. Carolina, I think is looking pretty good, and I think, obviously you'd be excited about that, coming off a strong regular season last year, but the fact that they're able to do this at the hands of Edmonton, and I know obviously the unfortunate Evander Kane situation, but
Right.
to score 7 on them, and I know you were probably laughing because Campbell, I think you've questioned his ability in net. So Chokery should have a reason to be excited about, no, for the Hurricanes here.
Oh yeah, absolutely, dude. I mean, hey, they made a great run, last season here. They're gonna have a similar run this year too.
Is
Svechnikov.
Is he a future star?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you look at his stats from last season, even too. I mean, it seems like he's gonna be pretty consistent throughout the year. As Chokery also says, looks like we finally got a goalie.
What do you think? Is that premature though in your eyes? I mean, we saw Anderson and Ranta, have some decent games this year, but do you think they go with a rotation, or they're kind of just seeing what works? What do you think they do there?
That's very interesting, honestly. I think maybe they start up with a little bit of a rotation here. I mean, this guy's incredibly young, 23 years old. I think it's going to take some time to have some confidence in him. It's actually going to be one game against, an Oilers team that obviously, lost a huge offensive asset in Evander Kane. I'm going to have to see a lot more from this guy, other than just, a win against an Oilers,
Yeah. And it's a shame. I think it's the only time Arizona comes to Raleigh, but Chokery will be here for Thanksgiving. You could have went to Wednesday, November 23rd. Vejmelka comes to town. I mean, that would have been a good one, no?
Oh my God, it really
probably
would have been
cheap tickets.
I
would
think
imagine
Brian might fly down, honestly.
Tickets as low as $21 for that one.
That's how much do you think a flight is?
Oh, I mean, well, see, the thing is, around Thanksgiving it's probably
you're screwed.
$350.
Yeah,
but if it was a random Tuesday, it would probably be $110.
Better off driving.
See, I don't know about that though.
No?
Honestly,
It's like 12 hours.
I can't do it. For me, 4 hours is a long drive, Tony. I cannot do 12, 9, 10, traffic tolls, everything. I can't.
Honestly, what do you mean, dude? We're gonna why? You can't go on a road trip? That's ridiculous.
I could go on a road trip if we're like stopping like 10 different places. You know what I mean? Then it's like we're only doing 3, 4, 5. I'll give you 5. 5 hours is fine, but I'm not doing any more than that.
Michael's checking in, excited about the Devils' OT win, 8 in a row. Let's go. He says, who cares about the Rangers? Could have done without that comment, but he does say the team to watch in the Northeast, New York in the NHL. I don't know what that's supposed to be, but team to watch in the Northeast obviously are the Devils, is what he's alluding to here. Honestly, very dangerous stuff happening out of New Jersey, dude. And that's not even just with the Devils.
Senators, all of that. I hope, honestly, we get a playoff series between the two.
Yeah. Nico, by the way, another great game for the Devils. He's had back-to-back phenomenal games for them. He's their captain. Chokery says driving from CT to North Carolina is not fun. I do it a lot.
See, I told you.
Well, if I have to do it a lot, I'm like, obviously, not going to be fun.
Tony doesn't know what he's talking about.
I've driven down to South Carolina before.
Yeah, but I'm saying Chokery's done it.
Yes,
probably 10, 15
but
times.
I'm just saying, though, for a road trip like with us,
maybe more.
A one-off time, dude. A
one-off.
If I have to do it constantly, I'm not going to like it. I don't like to drive from Staten Island to Connecticut.
Yeah.
It sucks, dude. The GW, the traffic, going through the fucking Bronx.
Oh, no, that's what I'm saying. I would rather spend an extra $300, $400, even $500 to avoid that. I really would.
I'd take the helicopter ride.
Yeah, the helicopter is pushing it.
Really? Well, what else are you going to do? You want to teleport?
No. I'm saying I just a regular flight. I don't need a copter, Tony.
A flight? Do they even have flights from Connecticut to New York?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Who?
Bradley to JFK all the time.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Well, then you have to. Well, I'm not going to drive up to Bradley to fly down to JFK.
No,
That's
and I think you could go from New Haven to New York too.
Really?
Yeah. Interesting. Though,
My mother would be pissed if I call her.
You pick me up.
I'm coming to JFK in a couple hours, buddy. You might pick me up.
Oh man. Travel, flights, hockey.
So annoying with the travel.
Oh, the travel. We should talk to Dog about it, honestly.
Oh. Yeah.
But the night that was in the National Hockey League last night,
so much fun.
Really the only other thing I wanted to touch on, where is it here?
Tortorella?
Yeah, I was surprised about that, but maybe, a little pressure, probably tribute video in Columbus before the game.
Fuck out of here.
Velo tickets are cheap from Connecticut to North Carolina.
I bet they are, dude.
But yeah, I mean, listen, bad game for the Flyers, but it's one game. They'll be just fine, Tony. I can't. Are the Bruins ever going to lose again, though? Honestly, what's different other than Bruce Cassidy being out this year? Olmark is playing like why?
He really is, dude. Olmark and Swayman, their backup too, has been just outstanding.
Yeah.
Not to mention, I think I've seen a lot of post game interviews with Bruins players, and it seems like the culture there is just
everyone hated Cassidy.
Outstanding. Yeah, it's like a breath of fresh air there. Everybody loves it, like from top to bottom, dude. And that is what makes a great hockey team, is that type of chemistry, the loviness between the players, the wanting to be there, the wanting to play. I mean, we were talking about it last night with Jay and Harrison. These guys play hockey every other day for like 8 months together,
right.
So like they have to want to be there. They have to be excited to be there. It can't be like Joe Girardi is our manager and he's making us hate each other,
Girardi. So random for Girardi. It was more but Olmark, former 6th-round pick of the Sabres, actually in 2012. So I'm sure they wish they could have him back. 29 years old, but 10-1, 1.95 goals against, 936 save percentage, 1 shutout. So clearly getting the job done in Boston. So that's definitely a situation to monitor for sure. But let's look ahead to the games tonight, Tony. Obviously, our team is off, the Rangers, but we will take some picks from the schedule that we have tonight. I believe, what is it, 5? Is it 4? It's 4. So 2 each. And as always, the pick of the litter.
Pick of the litter for me. It really is annoying when you follow up that great night of hockey with just like 4 games.
Still some good games though.
Yeah, I guess some good games
for not our team being on, obviously.
Yeah, just looking at the slate tonight. Excuse me. I guess I'll go with the Kraken here against the Wild.
Wow.
We have, this is the late game in Seattle. 10 o'clock here on ESPN.
Hockey Night in America
and Hulu. Hockey Night on Hulu. Nice Friday night. 10 o'clock at the bar, hammered, watching this. I understand. The Kraken have been off to a good season, but Minnesota, obviously, coming off a nice solid win against Anaheim, 4-1. That's something they should be doing. But this isn't the first time this team is meeting. Just not too long ago, about a week ago, they met in Minnesota, and the Kraken beat them 4-0. With Jones pitching the shutout here for Seattle, with only 22 shots on goal here for Minnesota. Again, I understand the uptick in offense in Anaheim as Manny comes to the door.
Legend that is Manny.
Yes, dude. But even in LA, they beat them 1-0. They really have not had a lot of offense here in the season, not as much as you would want. Kaprizov with only 15 points in the season. I understand it's 10 goals, but he should be doing way better. And again, Seattle, you have Minnesota, you have Marc-Andre Fleury, someone who I've talked about, losing a few ticks on his fastball, as they say. And the Kraken with, Grubauer, not so great, but Hellberg and Jones going with 4 goalies on their roster here. So obviously they're trying to work in a lot of guys, but Jones right now, 7-3, 1 overtime loss, 1 shutout, 2.45 ERA, 907 save percentage. I don't really think you should have any issue
Wait, did you just say ERA?
Oh, shit. Did I say ERA? I've been thinking baseball, dude. I'm telling you, talking about Girardi and God damn it. 3.17 ERA, dude. 2.45 goals against here, 907 save percentage. I don't think I'll have any issue fending off shots from Minnesota. Give me Seattle here. I'll say 3-1.
All right, my first pick here, Lightning and Caps. A lot of talent on the ice tonight in Washington. 7 o'clock game here. Unconfirmed, but right now, daily faceoff, so I'm sure it'll be a game of backup tenders. But right now, Vasilevsky versus Kumper, and I just feel like don't have a good feel for Washington. I know Tampa's been a little inconsistent, but the advantage that they have with Vasilevsky over Kumper, I think, is tremendous, and I think that's what propels them in this one. So give me the Lightning here, 4-2 over the Capitals.
All right, dude.
San Jose?
I think I'm going to take Toronto at home.
Colgren?
Colgren?
Is he the backup tenor?
Would he be? He's not going to be starting.
Yeah,
though.
I mean unconfirmed, of course, but yeah.
Colgren. They also have Matt Murray. But Samsonov. Is their starter? Why wouldn't Samsonov be?
Never know.
I think it's gonna be Tristan Jarry.
Jarry will be in that.
Samsonov. Samsonov so far 6-2 in the season, 223 goals against, 921 save percentage. Samsonov doing absolutely great work over there in Toronto. And I know you look at Pittsburgh. They struggled with a couple injuries to start the season. They still have a few injuries, as well as the Maple Leafs. Jake Muzzin, one of their big defensemen, going to be on the IR. Actually, it does say Samsonov on the IR as well. So that should be pretty interesting, I suppose. Maybe backup tenor situation. However, Toronto's offense. You talk about spreading the wealth here. Tavares, Matthews, Mitch Marner, I mentioned too. Electric hockey player. I just think Toronto has just more offensive assets here. And I think they're 7-4-3. Pittsburgh 5-6-2, off to kind of a slow start. Even for Crosby, it's been a little bit of a slow start with only 6 goals and 9 assists here through the first 15 games. And I think also, I know Pittsburgh just beat Washington, but Washington kind of is not great right now. And before that, Pittsburgh, big skid. They got a dub against Washington, the reset, another big skid here. Let's go Toronto, who's won 3 of their last 5 games, beating teams like Boston, like Carolina, like the Flyers. Give me Toronto here. I'll say 5-2.
All right. So, we talked before the show, hockey, it's fun with the underdogs. Never was high on Dallas for whatever reason. But for the first time ever, Tony, in the history of the NHL pick segment, I am going with San Jose on the road here. James Remmer confirmed already at 10:02 Eastern against Jake Oettinger. And I just think it's one of those things, Dallas, nice start, playoff position. But then this, everything kind of like sorts itself out. And I just don't think Dallas is that good. Not that San Jose is either. But I just think tonight they have what it takes here. So give me San Jose 3-2 in overtime.
I can't believe you're taking San Jose, dude.
First time ever.
First time ever taking San Jose?
Yeah.
Really?
Why would I ever take San Jose?
What kind of question is that? I don't know.
The dogs, Tony. The dogs are barking.
I know. Did you take both dogs? No, you took the Lightning against the Caps, right?
The Lightning I would think are favored, no?
Yeah, so that's why I was asking if you took both dogs.
Oh, no, I honestly, I really wasn't sure, but I'm going to check right now just to be sure. Yeah, Lightning minus 145. But Tony, you know what time it is. The Prism Pack Reveal! Music already cued. Oh, yeah. All right. 2-Pack Fridays coming up.
2-Pack Fridays. Let's go, Manny.
I know Chokery is anxiously awaiting, what cards are going to be pulled here.
Is he?
Do we have some Hall of Famers? And we
for
a 2-Pack Friday. We start off with a card we have, a guy that's unheralded from the Oklahoma City Thunder, Jeremiah Robinson Earl. So we know Michael is pumped up for that one. 2 for Jeremiah Robinson Earl. But this one is a complete 360, Tony. A legend, a Hall of Famer, a world champion from the Brooklyn Nets, Kevin Durant. So obviously, big card there.
Wow, you hyped? Kevin Durant? KD?
KD, that is a huge card. And KD's former teammate on the Golden State Warriors, one of the best three-point shooters of all time, went to, I believe, Washington State to play his college ball.
Wow.
Klay Thompson.
Oh,
so Michael
right now.
Michael should be running through the door
any second.
Wow. We get hyped. We get all the excitement to finish out with, from the Orlando Magic, Chuma. Okay. So a little bit of an oddball, Tony.
Okay.
Fortunately, a little bit of an oddball. We do have another pack, but KD and Thompson in the same pack. That is crazy. But all right, pack number 2 here. What do we have here? And this could be possibly the strongest 2 packs of all time. I believe this is our second card, and I think this is a different one than the first one we have. A global reach card from the 76ers, Joel Embiid. So Michael, always a big Embiid guy.
Wow.
A guy that is playing overseas, and it slips my mind where, expected to get into the Hall of Fame. Michael likes making fun of him. Formerly of the Los Angeles Lakers, Dwight Howard.
Oh, let's go, dude.
And then we do have 2 repeat cards to finish out. Role players, nevertheless, the excitement is in the air. The former San Antonio Spur, currently on the Washington Wizards, Davis Bertans. So the second Bertans card. And then to finish it off, the Charlotte Hornet, the former Duke Blue Devil. And he actually has 2 brothers that played at Duke as well.
Wow.
Mason Plumlee. So that is our Prism pack reveal. 8 cards, but the fact that we have KD, Thompson, and Joel Embiid. Quite the pull. Not a Aaron Judge card, but close enough, Tony.
Dude, what a pull, dude.
I mean, really, and then you compare it to what we had on, what was it, Wednesday night's Gaming Corner. I think it was a stronger sum.
Yeah, I would say so.
Top heavy.
Top heavy.
But stronger sum for
Nonetheless,
sure.
great 2 packs. I would say the best 2 packs I think we've ever had.
Yeah, probably.
1-2 punch, Brian.
Littered with Hall of Famers. 4 Hall of Famers if you include Dwight.
Wow. Dwight's playing overseas, you say?
Yeah, I look it up because I'm about to update everybody on the Candace Bank Houston Open. Got underway yesterday, and right now, actually, my pick to win this tournament is in the lead. 3 shots adrift of Max McGrevy is the one, the only Tony Finau, who is 8 under par, 3 under through 7. Shot a 65 yesterday and was a co-leader. Obviously, very early on here, a lot of guys haven't teed off, but some positive momentum for Tony Finau, looking to make some noise this week in Houston at Memorial Park after missing the cut last week. And as we always do, we have to look at the bottom of the leaderboard here, and coming in 132nd place at 10 over par, firing an 80 yesterday, is Austin Smotherman. So 11:47 a.m. local tee off today. He will look to turn that around. And yes, Howard in Taiwan.
Taiwan, dude. That's crazy.
It's a shame. And I know part of it is on him, but I don't know. I just think the way his career went.
I don't understand how could no NBA team wanted him.
Like, I thought just as a defensive guy playing 15 minutes, like, I feel like he's pretty good, but I don't know. You think it's an attitude problem and he hasn't been able to adjust to being a role player? I know he obviously won the title with the Lakers in 2020, but
I have no idea, dude. Because I feel like he had a good attitude. I feel like he was a good locker room guy, right?
Yeah, for a while anyway.
Yeah. What are we doing?
I don't know.
What does LeBron have to say about him?
But then remember the whole Magic thing, like he opted into his contract, then forced a trade, and then was on the Lakers, then didn't re-sign, and then got traded 8 different places. It didn't work in Houston. He comes back to the Lakers. You know, he's just well-traveled, Tony. Well-traveled.
Yeah, he's in Taiwan.
So that's kind of interesting. And the last question I'm going to ask you, Tony, as we head into the weekend, besides we tell everybody to stay tuned for Screen Time. Actually, what's on Screen Time?
Gears of War movie.
Gears of War.
Yeah, dude.
My
Gears of
favorite,
War,
my former game.
We talked about it, as well as John Wick 4, dude.
John Wick, who's about 220 right now. No, I'm just saying. It seems like there's been 10 movies. It's really only the 4th?
Yeah.
Seems like more, though, no?
They're creating a spinoff.
A spinoff with Mr. Wick.
Obviously. And that is Brian's favorite word, is spinoff.
Tony and Manny will have you covered there. Yeah. Do we have a start time for Screen Time?
11 a.m.
11 a.m.
Yes.
for Screen Time. Everybody's pumped up for that. But the last question I was going to actually ask you, Tony, push comes to shove, all-star team, Western Conference, Vejmelka, does he make it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Absolutely.
That will be a big stepping stone.
Absolutely. Yeah, for him. Huge.
Kind of interesting what you're going to say here, too. I know this is like a bonus question. all the games this weekend. A lot of action. What are you most excited for?
Rangers.
Which game?
Arizona.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah,
Very interesting.
there's Sunday game too.
7 o'clock.
7
so
o'clock. Forget about the football.
in between that, that 8:30 game. So
Yeah.
that's kind of interesting.
The perfect time slot.
But wow, what a show, what a week, and obviously, if you missed any of our episodes, they are available.
What a show. What a life.
On the archives. You definitely want to check out that 3.5-hour bonanza of Gaming Corner,
Sayonara.
the derbies, the MLB The Show games, the golf, just to name a couple things, but definitely an all-time classic, as well as the merch at downtimetv.com. Everybody,
word. Ain't never told no lie.
enjoy the day, enjoy the games, enjoy Screen Time at 11, and we will see you on Monday.
Hey guys, Tony here from Downtime TV checking in. I want to thank all our fans out there who's been liking, subscribing, sharing our content. You guys are the best. You guys are our bloodline. You make us love what we do.